the value of networking is very, very important, because that's when you also listen as a woman, listen to your gut feeling, your intuition, who to align with and who not to align with. That's before you even check their track records. That's before you even Google their names. That's before you even check their accomplishments and stuff. The networking, the basic networking and hanging out with these, you know, very successful people is the very core value that I get from all these events that I go to.
Welcome to Real Estate Deal Closers with Anette, Talie, where we focus on the deals. Our guests are real estate closers who will share in detail the whole process from finding a deal to closing it, as well as strategies and tips to help you do the same. Here's your host, Anette Talie.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Deal Closers. I am your host, Anette Talie, and my guest today is Chad Sarmiento. Welcome, Chad.
Thank you, Anette. Thank you so much for having me, and what an honor. I'm so excited to be here.
I am excited. I met Chad last year at the Raising Money Summit in Denver, and we immediately connected. She has an amazing Facebook group, and you know, I'm gonna let you talk about it, but it's a wonderful place where women connect, and you know, investor women connect, and they can learn from each other, and it's an amazing group. I love participating in it, and you know, like I was saying, we connected at the Raising Money Summit, and I've been following you for the last year and seeing all your successes, and you know, I'm so excited to know you and to be able to showcase your story today in my show.
Likewise here, Annette. I remember so well when we met, and then ever since then we hang out in the lunch room, and we just connect. And ever since then, I followed you, and I'm so proud of all your achievements, because you're crushing it there. And
Thank you, my friend.
I admire you.
Thank you so much. Let me tell you a little bit about Chad, because we share a little bit of a similar story of immigrants coming to the US. So Chad is a native of the Philippines who migrated to Los Angeles at age 23. She then opened her own boutique spa in a toney neighborhood of Brentwood, Los Angeles, California, a move precipitated by the need to spend more time with her adolescent son. 21 years later, with the sudden passing of her husband, and her son now 31 and safely on his way, Chad decided to close the spa and open yet another chapter in her life. She now focuses on multifamily and commercial real estate investing. Her mentor, whom she met in 2018, is the nationally known Rod Khleif. Since joining Rod's program, Chad has become a limited partner in more than 800 apartment units and a GP in over 400 units. Amazing, my friend.
Thank you so much.
She has quickly discovered the potential and opportunities for solid returns in multifamily residential investing by aligning with solid, reputable partners and helping others to discover the same. Chad co-founded a women's group focusing in multifamily investing called Multifamily Women's Mastermind, with almost 600 very successful and active members of women apartment investors, operators, and investors, and all collaborating and supporting each other. Chad is very active in giving back to charitable organizations that are very near to her heart. And she is now an advisory board member of Our House, a grief support center in Los Angeles, California. She is helping Our House in their fundraising necessary for the growth and awareness of this organization. Amazing. Welcome. And I want to know your personal story of how you decided that real estate was going to be that next chapter in your life.
Yes, thank you. I'd be glad to share that. First of all, when my husband had a CPA firm, but I also knew that he was a former investor also as well in real estate, only here in Los Angeles though, and some other stuff like mobile homes, I think, somewhere. But I really did not worry about all those before. I was just the passenger while he was the driver. So I knew that real estate was something to really be the one to invest and be successful long term. But it wasn't my worry at that time. Then my husband passed in a sudden manner, and then all of a sudden I had to think of my future. I had to think of my financial health and take care of my finances on my own without having to depend on anybody else or my financial manager telling me what to do. So that I knew I needed to be proactive with my financial health. So that's the reason why I decided, you know what, I need to learn this real estate investing. So I became a real estate investor by default. Actually, I first rented out my house and then I quickly realized that I did not want to be a landlord. So therefore, I also knew that if I invested in real estate, I will need to educate myself. So what I decided first is to educate myself and got myself totally immersed in real estate. And that's how that's how propelled me into the real estate investing. And therefore I chose multifamily for scalability. And that's how it started, yeah.
Awesome.
Real Estate Deal Closers, Special Edition.
So today is a special edition of Deal Closers because we're going to be talking about how can women crush it in real estate, and who better than Chad to be here talking about that today. You've participated as partners in more than 800 apartment units, as a GP in over 400 units. So you've been crushing it in real estate for a while now. So I think a lot of women that join your group, or that maybe are watching this video on YouTube or listening to the podcast, they are listening to us talk about hundreds of units, and they are wondering, how can I be in that position? Where do I start? So let's talk about that.
Sure, that's a great topic, because you know what? I really thought when I was just starting, I really thought that only the multimillionaire people could be able to be investing in multi-million-dollar deals. And I did not have any idea that apartment investing is or multifamily investing is a teamwork, so that you don't have to be a multi-millionaire to be able to buy a multi-million-dollar deal, apartment deal. So that's one thing. So that in itself, I'll be more than happy to share with my other women in here that it's not that. And I can be more than happy to share my journey. And also, because it's a teamwork, you really, really have to be aligning yourself to the right people, and to partner yourself with the right team, so that you will be in good hands, and you will be in a great partnership and a great deal, therefore,
Right, but I think like you have to start like you did. Like you decided, okay, I want to get into real estate and I want to start in multifamily, and you started educating yourself, because there is no way that you can bet an operator, or you can decide if a deal is a good deal, unless you know how to analyze it, at least on the basic, right?
So what I did, Annette, was I went to a lot of boot camps. I started with Rod Khleif's boot camp. And so, of course, with that, I decided to completely immerse myself because I knew that I had no choice but to really study it on my own. I don't have a husband to take care of it. I don't have a husband to know it. So it's left on me. So what I did was I took everything I could to get myself totally immersed in the industry, from reading books to listening to podcasts like this. This is very educational, by the way, what you're doing. So listening to podcasts like this, watching YouTube videos, reading all kinds of books, and leading meetups, attending meetups, whether it's local or out of town, and attending all the big events that I know that will lead me to education and networking. That is why I met you last year, because of that. I met you in Denver, right? And
Absolutely.
we hit it up and everything connected. So yeah, there's also the value of education, total immersion, and networking for sure.
Absolutely.
So,
and I think for me, education, absolutely, but networking is what changed my path, because I was, for the first, 6 years that I was investing, I was doing it by myself, and I wasn't really talking to anybody besides the two mentors that helped me start. But they are also, they only work by themselves, they don't partner up, and they started young, so they have been able to create this big network or wealth. But I started a little bit later, so I didn't want to, I wanted to grow fast. I wanted my kids to see the fruits of my labor quickly. I want to enjoy with them vacations, and I don't want them to be old when I am able to do these things. So I decided to go a little bit, like, once I discovered multifamily, I wanted to go quick. I wanted to grow fast. And networking, like you said, was something that really changed everything. And it all started because I joined a mastermind and they encouraged me to go networking. And once I started networking, I realized the value of it. And so tell me, so you are talking about networking and partnering with people. So how did you find your partners? And when you were networking, what did you do to lead you later to find partners?
Okay, so that's a great question, because, but before I answer that, let me tell you where I came from. I was a very, very fearful widow. You just imagine, when I first came into this multifamily investing space, I was so scared. I did not trust anybody because I already lost $25,000 from another boot camp, single family homes. So I already right there, I was so scared to start a boot camp at Rod Khleif. So that is the reason why I'm so thankful I discovered multifamily investing, because by networking, by meeting great people, it gives you the opportunity to get to know them. By spending time with them during all these events, breaking bread with them, having coffee with them, talking with them, and having lunch or dinner with them, and then following it up with a call or Zoom call after, because we all live in different states, from the East Coast to West Coast, North, South, Canada, whatever. But the networking, as you said, the value of networking is very, very important, because that's when you also listen, as a woman, listen to your gut feeling, your intuition, who to align with and who not to align with. That's before you even check their track records. That's before you even Google their names. That's before you even check their accomplishments and stuff. The networking, the basic networking and hanging out with these, you know, very successful people is the very core value that I get from all these events that I go to. And of course, Annette, obviously, they're not just gonna hang out with you. You're a very successful woman. They're not just gonna hang out with you if you're not adding value to them, if you're not trustworthy to them, if you don't have integrity to them. So it works vice versa. There's a reciprocity there. I just realized that just very lately that, you know what? I should not discount my value either. They're with me because they know that I have value to contribute. They know that I am trustworthy. They know that I have integrity. And they know that I will be an easy person to work with. I remember, and there was a deal, there was a syndicator that I said to me, it doesn't matter if this person has a lot of money to invest with, if they're paying in the you know what, we're not gonna want them as partners. So by hearing that, it's like, wow, you know? So all these factors are really, are very important in vetting and aligning yourself with the right team and finding the team.
Absolutely.
So.
And I like something that you said, as women, or maybe as beginners as well, to not discount the value that you bring. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, we're insecure because we don't know, we feel that we don't know enough, but that's something that you can fix. You know, you can get more education, but integrity, you know, if you don't have it, you don't have it. You know, you're not gonna get integrity, you know, so you gotta also count the value that you bring. And you're right, like people will work with you if you're a person that is easy to work with, or that is you have fun working with that person. If you have somebody that, for example, to me, if I, you know, if they are using bad language constantly, you know, that's somebody I'm not gonna wanna align with, because that's not something that I like. So you're gonna end up naturally aligning with people that are gonna have kind of your same vibe, and they're gonna have your same mindset. And never discount the value that you bring as well. Love it. So there is always a talk about balance, right? When we are women in doing whatever we do, we are moms, we're wives, we're you know, W2 workers, and then we want to do some extra stuff, you know, like investing. So how do you find balance in your life with the things that you do and in real estate?
What I find with this kind of multifamily investment, with this kind of business, is that you really have to be disciplined. When I say disciplined, because I came from a corporate world, and also I came from owning a business, a retail spa business. So those kind of that kind of business or profession or career really just automatically or forces you to have a structure because of the time frame that you have to be in. You have to be in your office by certain time, you have to work until certain time, and then you have your kids, and then you have to do all the household work and stuff like that. With this multifamily investing, the difference is your schedule is very fluid. Therefore, because of this kind of schedule, I find it myself that that is very helpful to myself to have a morning routine. And to start with the morning routine, that sets the tone of my day, and therefore all my schedules are lined up. I look at, of course, we all have our calendars, and I have my reminders because I tend to forget things. And so by blocking time, it really helps a lot in the order of what, because otherwise in the beginning, it's like, wow, I have to call this person, I have to write an email. It's all sporadic, right? But by blocking time of today, I'm gonna do like after my morning routine, then that's when I start with like, let me start with email. And then after that, oh, let me do the phone calls. And then after that, analyzing. So you just have to really put your schedule in the order so that it will give you like more clarity for your day and feel like you're more productive and feel like you're more balanced at the end of the day.
And organized, right? Like you're gonna feel, you know, when my house is a mess, I feel like a mess. So I think the same thing is like with this, like if you're not organized, then like your entire day is gonna be off, right?
Yes, yeah. So my morning routine definitely is a must. So that involves obviously my meditation. I'm a Catholic, so I pray first and then I meditate. And then after meditation, I have my coffee because I can't function without coffee. And then that's when I do my workout and whatever kind of workout. I just hike. There's no gym today this time, so I just go hike or I do my dancing. I love to dance. I do my little Zumba or cardio dance, and that sets the tone of my day. You know, shower and then start my day for my multifamily.
That's awesome, and I think starting your day with your morning routine, it's an amazing way to start because you are super energetic after doing your exercise and you're ready to go with the day, right?
Yes, for sure.
Awesome. So, you know, we talked a little bit about mindset, balance, network, and education. So what else would you tell people that want to start in real estate, and especially women, that they need to do?
Yeah, with yes, for us women, there are so many women out there that are crushing it now. Of course, you mentioned that we were very scared when we were first starting. Yeah, because this is a very male-dominated business. That's the truth. But it's no longer just one in every 20 men anymore. While we're very thankful for all these men that are very supportive and very really generous in helping us, there is a special and unique need for us women to work together, to collaborate with each other, and to cheer each other on, you know? So that's why we, Michelle, Opel, Candace Pilgrim, and I decided to create this women's group because focus on multifamily investing, of course, because there's a lot of women's group right over there that is, you know, real estate based, but not on multifamily investing. So that is why I felt that we really, as women, have a special need. So therefore, we and special bonding. And I think it's great that we are all cheering each other on and helping each other and empowering each other. So I love it. And I love what you do because you're trying to empower women like us, you know? And so as far as, so, and as far as starting, I suggest that number one is education. And number two, definitely have a mentor or coach. That's very important. That coach could be both for your, you know, like business coach and personal coach. I do have both, both a personal and a business coach, because that helps with your mindset. Your coach will help with your mindset and will guide you So I feel that that's a very, very good investment for me. And also, as far as aligning yourself with the right people, because you will have to really, again, going back to vetting your team and the people that you align with, you have to check their track records. You have to make sure that your values are aligned with them and their principles are aligned with them. Because just like what you said, you don't want to be cursing. You don't want anybody that will be cursing on, you know what I mean? So it's really on your, depends on your values. And also, what are your goals? Do you have a long-term goal? Do you have a short-term goal? I have a very different goal and risk tolerance because of my age versus you as a younger person. So what is my goal? What is my risk tolerance? And so who is sensitive to my goal and to my risk tolerance? So those are the things that we consider when we're starting in this business and when we're aligning ourselves with other people, other team. So
that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So I want to ask you, what are you reading now, and if you have any book recommendations for the listeners?
Yeah, I just finished that. Believe it or not, I just finished this Atomic Habits.
Oh, I love that book.
I love this book. This really, so the layering of habits, it's really good. So I keep coming back to this book. And then of course, the classic, whenever you feel like motivated, I have to read this one. And this is a gift from my coach, by the way, my mentor, Rod Khleif. And this one, Crushing It. It's a very simple read. Crushing It in apartments and commercial real estate is a very simple read, but it really shows you the way how this man coming from, the author is Brian Murray, who I think is very nice man, because he sent me a copy when I lost my copy in a flight. And he sent it to me, found out I posted it in Instagram, and he sent it to me. How cool is that?
That's
but
amazing.
but because I really liked it. It's so simple, and there's just so many books out there. The Joe Fairless book, that's a Bible. I think it's in my room, so that's also a Bible.
That's awesome. So make sure to get those books. I'm going to try to put a link on the comments so that you can just click and order a couple of those books.
Productivity hack.
All right. So now I'm going to ask you about what is your productivity hack, something that you have implemented in your business that has taken you to the next level.
Productivity hack. Again, it goes back to my setting up the tone of my day, which is having my morning routine. Because, you know, we have to take care of our mental health and spiritual health, aside from physical health. So that is my daily routine sets up the tone of my day, for sure. And also, as far as, there's no other hack except that integrity goes a long way. So therefore, if I talk to you, I only talk to you in what event was that one? Raising money in Denver. Mm-hmm. But I knew that you had an integrity. I felt your energy. So that, I think that's my hack. I wouldn't call that a hack, but I think that's my strength. I have this very strong intuition, and I guess you call it gut feeling or women's instinct or whatever. But I know, as I'm talking to you, I know the energy and feel the energy, and I know if I should follow up with you or not. So, yeah. and build a relationship with you or not. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So I don't know if you called it a hack, but That's truly my women's hack.
That I think for sure, like you have to learn to follow your instincts, right?
Mhm.
Because I
Sure.
think the times that I didn't, then it got me in trouble, and then I'm like,
So
oh, I should have listened to myself.
yes, I've heard that so many times, and I've experienced that so many times. So therefore, if there's a deal, let's say, for example, let me just give you an example. If there's a deal, you know how we get deal flows, right? And if it's such a good deal that you want it to happen because you haven't JV'd, my goal is to be a JV partner, right? So I really, really want that to happen. But if I'm sweating and I'm sleepless for nights just because I'm forcing this to happen, that means my gut feeling and my body's telling me something. So, and I've done that. I've experienced that for at least 4 times already. And I'm so thankful that I listened to myself.
Absolutely.
Expert tips.
All right. So now we are in the part of the show where we're going to talk about 3 expert tips. And Chad is going to share with us her 3 expert tips on how to vet your team or your partner.
Okay. Yeah. That's very, very important to me because that's why, that's what I've been, so I think I already mentioned earlier, I have to make sure that I have to check their track records. That's number 1 to me. And number 2,
let me stop you there for a second. So when you say that you are checking their track records, what are you checking specifically?
You check their, how, for example, these syndicators, they claim this one to be, they claim to be that one. And so you have to, first of all, even just the simplest Google search, you'll be amazed how much you find in this one, from Google. And then you start calling people. Hey, you've been partners with this person. What do you think? Hey, do you know so-and-so? What do you think of him? By people telling you about them, whether they try to be nice or they try to avoid giving you negative, comment about them, you can tell, because if they're great people, they're so enthusiastic to talk about these people. It's like, oh my God, he is so amazing. I've been partners with him. I'm so happy. I can't wait for another deal with them. It's like, yeah. So actually calling people to find out about that person. So that's what that's how I check. It's an old-fashioned checking. Of course, I Google. You don't want them to have records of criminal records or bankruptcy, or bankruptcy sometimes is not a deal breaker, but definitely criminal records, and definitely I go by still calling the people that have invested with them and the people that have partnered with them.
That's
And my
amazing
second,
advice.
And my second tip is the values. They have to have the same values as I have. And when I say values, do they have the same character, a good character, of good moral character like you do? Do they are they good people, good human beings? You can kind of sense by hanging out with them and by talking to them, because you know what their goals are. You know that, oh, they're very giving. Oh, they donate in this one. They're for this charitable organization and all that. And because I'm big proponent in helping and making a difference in the world, even if just making someone smile for a moment,
Mm-hmm.
And my third it's very important for me that they have to be aligned with my goals. Again, my goals and my risk tolerance. My goal is to scale and to, let's say, like for example, I want to see a return of my investment within 3 to 5 years. So that's my goal. It's because I have a lower risk tolerance because of my age. So therefore, I want to see all those. What's the goal of this deal? What's the rate of the return that they're looking at, and what's the cash return, and the investment that I'm looking at, and that they are. So all these things. So, and also make sure that it goes back to education. Make sure that you learn how to analyze a deal on your own. You don't have to let anybody know. On your own, get an analyzer, analyze it on your own, learn why the number is such, why they use 3% annual rent increase. Is that really sustainable? Things like that. Why the exit strategy is like this. So you have to learn and understand, and you have to know what's really, are those comps that they're talking about, is that really for real? So how do you find out? You call the apartments surrounding the apartments that they are, where the deal is. So those are the 3 things that are very, very important to me. The track records, the values, the goals, and definitely educating yourself to analyze the deal.
Yeah, and going back to the one where you said that the values. So how obviously this one has to be like when you know the people and you spend time with them. So how long do you spend time with a new partner before you decide that you want to partner with them because you already feel like you know them? Is this, I mean, maybe it's something that varies, but do you have like a way of or a time frame?
It does, to be honest with you, it does vary, because unfortunately we don't live very close to each other. We're all separate. We're all coming from different states. So the only time that you will know about this person is to hang out with them as far as those events are, or spending time with them with like the meetups or phone conversations and stuff like that. But eventually in time, because you're always, with me at least, I always bump into them in big conventions, seminars, and boot camps. So therefore, by hanging out with them and by talking to them and by knowing about them, you will realize that the values will be the same, will be the values that you want to be aligned with.
Absolutely. And I think also, like, you meet somebody, like, for example, we met on a conference and we spent like 3 days, lunch, dinners, and conversations, and we got to know each other, cocktails and this. And but then you can also connect online and you can see through their Facebook how this person is, and I think, Facebook can really reveal the true personality of somebody, because they're going to be posting sometimes stuff that they don't think is, very important, but you're watching, and if you see stuff that you like, you're going to be like, I like this person. And then if you see something that you don't like, you're like, okay, let me keep checking on this.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my friend.
Social networks also are very, very important, because you see their personality from their posts. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And like, sometimes, people are just negative constantly. And like, that's one thing that will turn me off. Like, I understand sometimes you can have something happen to you and you could be down, but like if you're constantly negative and everything is like the end of the world, then like I don't wanna hang out with you too much, you know?
Sure, for sure. Yeah.
All right, my friend. This was so nice to have you. Tell the audience, where can they find you? How can they connect with you?
I am very, speaking of social media, I am very active right now in my Facebook, which is chat Sarmiento-Steinwald, and also in my Instagram, which is chat.sarmiento.steinwald. And my email is chat@chasedequitypartners.com. I have a problem. I just posted in my in our group that I have a problem with my website right now. So it's now under repair or construction. So my website was chasedequitypartners.com. It will come back. It will be it's under construction. So
hit her up on Facebook. You know, I see you on Facebook all the time, so you can connect with her on Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're listening and you're liking this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and to give us a like on the podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Bye, everybody.
Thank you so much, Anette. Bye. Thank you.
This was Real Estate Deal Closers with Anette Talie, brought to you by Talie Investments. We hope that you enjoyed this episode. Our goal is to provide amazing value on your real estate journey. Connect online at www.talieinvestments.com, where you can find this episode and more. Did you like this episode? Subscribe, like, and share.